It's November 21st, and the strange side of history awaits. Today, we have a hotel swallowed by flames, a city soaked in terror, and a night of explosions that changed a nation. Let's begin. On November 21st, 1980, a normal morning inside the glittering MGM Grand Hotel in Las Vegas was about to turn into one of the most chilling disasters in American history. At 7 a.m., while most guests were still asleep or wandering the casino floor, something small sparked deep inside the restaurant on the ground level. No alarms, no warnings, just a whisper of smoke curling through the hidden space, the danger no one could see. Within minutes, the whisper grew into a roaring inferno. Flames tore through the casino at a speed no one imagined possible, consuming carpets, slot machines, and walls in seconds. But the fire wasn't what people feared most, it was the smoke. Thick, toxic, and ice cold, it began slipping through the air vents, rising through the elevator shafts, invading hallways and hotel rooms like a living shadow. More than 5,000 people were trapped inside the towering building, many waking up to darkness, confusion, and an eerie sound of alarms echoing far below. Some guests opened their door only to find walls of smoke. Others smashed windows, waving desperately from high floors as helicopters fought fierce updrafts just to reach them. Survivors described the halls as a maze of disorientation, lights failing, visibility shrinking to inches, and every step guided by instinct alone. Some crawled along the carpet to find breathable air, while others waited on balconies, the building groaning under the heat. Outside, firefighters arrived on scene were met with a nightmare. Thousands of people scattered across 26 stories, each minute tightening the grip of the smoke-filled structure. By the time the flames were under control, the MGM Grand, once a symbol of Las Vegas luxury, stood scarred and silent. 85 souls were lost, and the tragedy forever changed the fire safety laws in high-rise hotels across America. It's terrifying to think how a single spark hidden deep inside the building meant for luxury could turn thousands of lives into a departure race against smoke and time. On November 21st, 1920, Dublin woke an uneasy silence. One of those mornings where the air feels heavier than it should, as if the city itself could sense what was coming. Before the sun was fully up, the shadows were already moving along the streets. Men with quiet steps and grim purpose. They belonged to Michael Collins' intelligent network, and on this day, their mission would be to ignite one of the darkest chapters in Ireland's struggle for independence. One by one, through the early hours, the British intelligence operatives, suspected spies, were targeted in boarding houses and apartments across the city. The operation happened with unsettling precision. Doors opened, muffled footsteps echoed down narrow halls, and in a matter of minutes, the fate of British intelligence in Dublin was changed forever. For some of the residents, the day began with knocks that they hoped never to hear, and it would only grow more terrifying from there. By the afternoon, the city tried to regain its sense of normalcy. Thousands gathered at Crook Park for a Gaelic football match, unaware of the morning's events. Fans cheered, children laughed, and for a moment, it felt like the violence might stay distant, but it didn't. British forces arrived at the stadium, moving with such swiftness that it stunned the crowd. Panic spread, and people tried to flee. The calm of the match shattered in an instant. In the confusion, civilians were caught in chaos, and families torn apart. A day of sports transformed into a sense of terror. As evening fell, the city was quiet again, but not the peaceful kind. They called it Bloody Sunday, and it became more than a date. It became a reminder of how quickly violence can overtake a city, how swiftly ordinary life can be swept away, and what's most haunting is how an ordinary morning can unravel into a chain of violence that still echoes through Ireland's memory a century later. On November 21st, 1974, Birmingham began an evening like any other. But beneath the ordinary calm, something was already in motion. Around 8 p.m., two devices, hidden, silent, and ticking, were placed in two of the city's busiest pubs, the Murberry and the Tavern in the town. Hundreds were packed inside, laughing, talking, unaware that time was quietly running out. Minutes before the explosion, a warning call was made. It was vague, rushed, and gave authorities almost no chance to act. To people inside the pubs, everything felt normal. Glasses clinked, music played. No one knew that night was about to twist into one of Britain's darkest moments. Without warning, the first blast ripped through the mulberry bush. The shockwave burst into the streets, sending tremors through the city center. Before anyone could understand what happened, the second explosion struck the tavern in the town. Another crowded room suddenly thrown into chaos. In the aftermath, Birmingham fell into a sudden silence. 21 souls were lost. Emergency crews flooded the streets, sirens echoing through the city. Many were in shock, confused, and trying to grasp how an ordinary Thursday night had turned into Britain's deadliest modern bomb attack. Who had planted the bombs? Why these pubs? Authorities scrambled, confusion deepened, and the fear spread as people wondered. The pressure to find answers led to one of the most controversial investigations in British history, a case that would haunt the courts for decades. So how did an ordinary night turn into a tragedy so devastating? And how many secrets from that night remain in the shadows? Another day, another strange bite from history. Like, comment, and subscribe. Your next eerie dose is just a day away.